What's good, everybody? Welcome back. This is Lifted Noise. My name is Raul. Today I'm talking about boom bap beat making. One technique that's synonymous with boom bap is chop breaks. The idea is to chop the break in a way where you retain the same feel, but then you also have the ability to create new drum patterns and also the flexibility to chop multiple drum breaks in the same way so you can interchange them and have a different sound depending on what samples you're using for that specific beat. I'm calling this one hacked warp drum breaks because it's kind of like using warp, but it's not using warp at all. And I actually think it sounds a lot better than warp, specifically in standalone. I don't know about software guys because I never use software. I've heard it sounds a little bit better. But in standalone, when you use warp, and especially on drums, you lose out on a lot of the punch. I feel like it cuts the attack somehow. But this way you can retain the original punch, and then you also have the flexibility to change your tempo. Alright, so here I have a few drum breaks already chopped up, and I'm going to show you exactly how I chopped them because I do want to chop them all in the same way. Then I'm going to take a new break and chop it in that same manner, and then create a new drum pattern out of it, and then interchange it and change the tempo so you can see the flexibility of chopping this way and still retaining the original feel of your drum break. So one thing that all these drum breaks have in common is that they're 1 bar in length. So I'm going to go to my new drum break that I haven't chopped yet. And I think it's a little longer than 1 bar, so I'm going to cut it so it's 1 bar. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So there's my chop point. Let's go. Was it right there, I think? Kind of lost track. 2, 3, 4, and 1. There it is, perfect. I'm going to chop there. I'll go in a little closer so I can get a nice clean cut. Okay, process and discard everything else. From here, I'll hit trim, go into chop, and I'm going to select regions. And then rather than 16 chops, I'm going to do 8 just to keep it simple. Do this fast. You could do 16 if you like. I think 8's good. And just to keep a consistency, you just want to make sure that all your drum breaks are chopped in the same exact way so that you can interchange them. So I don't like where the chops are exactly at, so I'm going to go in and chop each one, get it a little closer. There we go. From here, I want to shift, convert. I'm going to just do new drum program using slices, non-destructive. Good. Let's go. So one other thing I want to do from here in order to make these chops sound a little cleaner, as you can hear, they had some pops, some clicks towards the end. If I go into filter, and then I'm going to select this here and make sure all my pads are selected so I can affect them all at once. And I'm going to adjust the decay on the amp envelope. And around 30 something should be good. Now I don't have all of that, those pops and clicks that you heard. So this is a little bit cleaner. So I can take this original drum break sound and chop it into something new like this. At about 94 beats per minute. I can speed it up just like I could with warp. And now going back down. Alright, now we're going lower past its original tempo. So one disadvantage is it does start to sound a bit choppy, but still usable. And that's down all the way down to like 78 beats per minute from its original 94 beats per minute. So boom bap, if you're making boom bap, it's probably somewhere in between 80, 90, somewhere in that range. So I can go down. This is what 80 sounds like from its original 94. So I can interchange them, and now I have different sounds. Check them out. One last thing I did want to demonstrate was the difference in sound between warp and this method, as I described in the intro, how warp tends to take away a lot of the punch in a way where it sounds like it's actually cutting off the attack on your kick and your snares. And so let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm going to go into program edit, samples, and then I'm going to make sure all is on so I can affect them all at once. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn warp on and off. So this is off. This is on. Now I'm going to go back to this is original tempo, which is about 85. So it's doing a lot more than what I described there. It's really bad. So turning it off, on. That's off. As you just heard, warp sounds pretty bad on these drum breaks. I think this method is actually better if you want to have the flexibility of changing your tempo. Give or take about 10, not give or take, more like take. So if you go lower, it does start to sound a bit choppier. So that's the downside of this method. But it's still effective. You could just take your drum breaks before you chop them and time stretch them, because the time stretch is pretty good. Speed it, slow it a little bit, get it to around that boom bap tempo. Then do your chopping, and then still have a little bit of leeway depending on your chops that you're using. So the idea is more, it goes beyond just warping. It's about having all these chopped drum breaks chopped in the same exact way so that you can interchange them, create new drum breaks, and have quick inspiration to sift through different types of sounds to fit what it is that you're doing at that time. So until next time, everybody stay humble, lift noise, leave a comment, subscribe. Yeah.